In a move laden with diplomatic significance, Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Nicosia, Cyprus, marking his first international trip since the successful conclusion of Operation Sindoor. This visit is not a mere coincidence of scheduling. It is a carefully calibrated signal on the global stage. The choice of Cyprus, a small Mediterranean island nation with its own long-standing grievances against Turkey, speaks volumes. Modi's arrival on Sunday, en route to the G7 summit in Canada, underscores a deliberate pivot in India's foreign policy. The timing is critical, coming just weeks after the intense military escalation with Pakistan, an escalation that saw the overt involvement of Turkish military assets and personnel on Pakistan's side. This is more than a bilateral meeting, it is a statement of intent. The context of this visit is rooted in the events of the past 2 months. The horrific terror attack in Pahalgam on April 22nd, which claimed innocent Indian lives, set off a chain reaction. India's retaliatory strikes under Operation Sindoor were precise and decisive, targeting terror infrastructure deep within Pakistan. However, the subsequent revelation of Turkey's direct support for Pakistan's counter-actions has added a new complex layer to regional geopolitics. By choosing Cyprus for his first post-crisis engagement, Prime Minister Modi is sending a clear message to Ankara. He is signaling that India is aware of Turkey's actions and is prepared to build alliances with nations that share similar security concerns. It is a classic diplomatic maneuver, leveraging shared interests to counter a common adversary. The discussions in Nicosia between Prime Minister Modi and Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulides are expected to go far beyond standard bilateral pleasantries. The agenda is packed with substantive issues, from strategic cooperation to economic partnerships. For India, this visit is an opportunity to thank a nation that stood by it in a moment of crisis. For Cyprus, it is a chance to strengthen ties with a rising global power that understands the complexities of dealing with an aggressive and expansionist neighbor. The symbolism of the Indian Prime Minister, choosing their capital for his first foreign visit after a major military operation, has not been lost on the Cypriot leadership or its people. The visit therefore serves a dual purpose. Internally, it reassures the Indian public that the government is actively working to isolate nations that support terror-sponsoring states. Externally, it demonstrates to the world, and particularly to Turkey, that India will not be passive in the face of such provocations. New Delhi is actively forging new partnerships and strengthening existing ones to create a diplomatic counterweight to the emerging Turkey-Pakistan nexus. The quiet, sun-drenched streets of Nicosia have become the unlikely stage for a bold and assertive display of Indian diplomacy, setting the tone for India's engagement with the world in the wake of a significant regional conflict. The strategic rationale behind Prime Minister Modi's Cyprus visit becomes crystal clear when viewed against the backdrop of Turkey's deepening military and diplomatic alignment with Pakistan. This is not a new friendship, but its recent manifestations are a source of grave concern for India's security establishment. Ankara's support for Islamabad has moved from rhetorical backing on issues like Kashmir to direct, tangible military assistance. This shift was starkly illustrated during the recent conflict. Indian intelligence reports have confirmed that Turkish military advisors were actively involved in planning and coordinating Pakistan's drone-based retaliations following Operation Sindoor. This represents a dangerous escalation and a direct intervention in the subcontinent's security dynamics. The evidence of Turkey's involvement is concrete and alarming. Forensic analysis of drones downed by Indian forces during Pakistan's May 8th to 9th counterattacks revealed them to be Turkish-made Asisgard Songar models. Intelligence inputs further confirmed that over 350 such drones, along with the more advanced Bayraktar TB2S, were supplied to Islamabad by Ankara. This massive infusion of military hardware enabled Pakistan to launch a coordinated assault involving nearly 400 drones across 36 Indian locations. Tragically, this support came at a cost for Turkey as well. 2 of its military operatives were reported killed during India's precision strikes, confirming their on-ground presence and active role in hostilities against India. This military cooperation is part of a broader strategic alignment under President Erdogan, who seeks to position Turkey as a leader of the Islamic world, often at the expense of established regional powers. By championing Pakistan's cause, Turkey gains a strategic foothold in South Asia and a key partner in its geopolitical ambitions. This brotherhood has seen Turkey consistently raise the Kashmir issue at international forums like the United Nations, echoing Pakistan's narrative and attempting to internationalize a bilateral matter. This diplomatic offensive, combined with military hardware support, makes the Turkey-Pakistan axis a significant threat to India's interests. Therefore, India's decision to engage Cyprus is a direct response to this challenge. It is a strategic move to court a nation that is, in many ways, a victim of Turkish aggression itself. New Delhi is making it clear that if Ankara chooses to align itself with India's adversaries and actively participate in hostile actions, India will reciprocate by strengthening ties with Turkey's rivals. This is realpolitik in action. The message being sent from Nicosia to Ankara is unambiguous. Turkey's actions have consequences, and India is prepared to leverage its diplomatic and economic heft to protect its sovereignty and strategic interests in a rapidly changing global order. The foundation of the strengthened India-Cyprus relationship is built on a bedrock of shared principles, and more importantly, shared historical parallels. Cyprus, much like India, has contended with the painful realities of partition and foreign occupation. The island has been divided since 1974, when Turkey invaded and occupied its northern third, a situation that persists to this day. This illegal occupation, which led to the displacement of tens of thousands of Greek Cypriots, creates a natural empathy in Nicosia for India's own struggles with state-sponsored, cross-border terrorism and territorial disputes. The Cypriot government understands, perhaps better than many European nations, what it means to live next to an expansionist power. This shared understanding was powerfully demonstrated in the immediate aftermath of the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack. The Republic of Cyprus was among the very first nations to issue a strong condemnation of the massacre. But its support went beyond mere words. The Cypriot government quickly signaled its intent to raise the issue of cross-border terrorism, originating from Pakistan, during high-level discussions within the European Union. This was a significant diplomatic victory for India. Having an EU member state champion its cause from within the bloc provides India with a crucial voice and legitimacy in corridors of power where Pakistan has often tried to muddy the waters with its own propaganda. This support is not a matter of temporary convenience. It is a consistent feature of Cyprus's foreign policy. For decades, Cyprus has been a reliable partner for India at various international forums, including the United Nations and the Non-Aligned Movement. Both countries have consistently supported each other on core issues of national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Cyprus has steadfastly supported India's position on Kashmir, recognizing it as a bilateral issue to be resolved without foreign interference. In return, India has always supported a peaceful resolution of the Cyprus question based on UN resolutions, calling for the withdrawal of Turkish forces from the island. This history of mutual support makes the current geopolitical alignment both natural and potent. When Prime Minister Modi speaks with President Christodoulidis about the threat posed by the Turkey-Pakistan axis, he is speaking to a leader who does not need a lesson in Turkish foreign policy. Cyprus has first-hand experience. This deep-seated historical understanding makes Cyprus an invaluable strategic partner for India in the Mediterranean. It transforms the relationship from one of simple friendship to a substantive alliance rooted in a common struggle against aggression and a shared vision for a rules-based international order. While the strategic subtext of Prime Minister Modi's visit is undeniable, the trip is also firmly anchored in strengthening economic and commercial ties. Cyprus, with its strategic location at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa, presents a unique opportunity for India. It is a key member of the European Union, and as it prepares to take over the rotating presidency of the Council of the EU, its importance for India as a gateway to the European market is set to grow exponentially. The discussions in Nicosia included a focus on transforming the island into a vital hub for a potential trade corridor linking India directly to Europe, bypassing traditional, more circuitous routes. The visit has already yielded concrete economic outcomes, with business leaders from both nations exploring new avenues for collaboration. Agreements in sectors like shipping, financial services, and technology are being finalized. For Indian companies, Cyprus offers a favorable business environment and access to the vast EU single market. For Cyprus, a deeper economic relationship with the world's fastest-growing major economy offers a chance to diversify its own economic base and attract significant investment. This burgeoning economic partnership adds another layer of substance to the strategic alliance, creating a relationship that is mutually beneficial and resilient. This push for deeper economic ties with Cyprus runs parallel to a growing economic backlash against Turkey within India. In the wake of Ankara's support for Pakistan, a boycott Turkey movement has gained significant momentum. Indian e-commerce giants are reportedly reducing the visibility of Turkish brands, while major travel companies have halted flight and tour bookings to the country. Critically, industry bodies like the Udaipur Marble Processors Association are moving to ban imports of Turkish marble, a significant blow given that it constitutes a large portion of India's supply. This economic pressure is a clear signal that Indian consumers and businesses are willing to put national interest above commercial gain. In conclusion, Prime Minister Modi's visit to Cyprus is a masterstroke of multi-pronged diplomacy. It is a powerful message to Turkey, demonstrating that its hostile actions will not go unanswered and that India is adept at forging alliances with Ankara's regional rivals. The visit simultaneously reaffirms India's solidarity with a time-tested friend that has consistently supported its core interests. By skillfully weaving together the threads of shared history, strategic convergence, and burgeoning economic opportunity, India is not only countering the immediate threat posed by the Turkey-Pakistan nexus, but is also strengthening its own position as a pivotal and principled player on the world stage. The message from Nicosia is loud and clear. India is watching, and it will act decisively to protect its interests.